Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today because we have another massive dump to the downside today and now are getting pretty close to reaching the bottom of my descending channel that I have been talking about for quite some time here. And of course, as you guys know, if you have been watching my videos, I took profits on a lot of my crypto right here at around 70K as soon as we traded back inside that range. So this descending channel has been extremely helpful for us to determine where the price could be heading next and if we should be flipping too bullish or too bearish at some point. And I do think that for now, to be extremely bearish, like I'm seeing a lot of comments, for example, in yesterday's video, where people are saying like, yeah, 50K next, 40K next, 32K next. And I think it is too early to be extremely bearish in that sense, because of course, you know that I flipped bearish right here at 70K. And just to be clear, so long as we are holding above this descending line of support, I think it is just a little bit early to be calling for much lower price action because the bottom of this range is currently pretty much exactly at 56,000 US dollars. And I think another important thing to pay attention to is this low right here, because so far we haven't gone below it. We basically wicked down to this exact level, meaning that we haven't had that actual lower low yet in the chart. So I do think, again, that it is a little bit early to be calling for 40K and stuff like that. Now, if we get daily and weekly candle closes below this descending channel, yeah, then we need to reconsider and be open to more downside. But for now, I'm really paying attention to what is happening around this trend line and around this low as well. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention here is this kind of dotted blue line. And so far, I haven't really been looking at this because there have only been 2 wicks down to this level. So this trend line isn't really valid because for a trend line to be valid, you need at least 3 touches. And so far, we haven't had that third touch, but potentially you can still see something like this, validate the trend line, and then still get that bounce out of there, even though I do think that is less likely to happen. But we have to be open to the possibility, of course. So like I said, I think it is a little bit early to get extremely bearish, although, of course, like I have been saying in my videos for weeks at this point, the trend is down. And it will continue to be down so long as we haven't seen a clear reversal signal yet. And taking a look at the support and resistance levels for Bitcoin, right now Bitcoin is in this big level of support, sitting from 58K all the way down to 56,000 US dollars. And in terms of resistance to the upside, we have this resistance right here from 60K all the way up to 62.4K. So if you see the price move up to this level, then pay attention because potentially we can get another rejection down. But the first priority would actually be to break back above 58K once again. Now, in terms of big support to the downside, if we break below 56K, of course, we have that descending channel that I was talking about earlier, which could act as a level of support. But if we're talking about massive levels of support, then it would be this right here from 53K all the way down to 50,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. Now, one thing I wanted to point your attention towards is actually this potential bullish divergence on the 4-hour time frame, because so far we have seen that lower low in the Bitcoin price, but we haven't seen that confirmed higher low in the RSI momentum indicator. Because for that to occur, you would like to see something like this, where the price actually gets some green candles and a little bit of a move to the upside, in which case you would see something like this in the RSI. And after that, you can draw a trend line here, draw it like this. So you have a confirmed bullish divergence. And just to be clear, so far it hasn't confirmed yet. So the momentum is down until that confirmation actually occurs. And typically what you'll see with a bullish divergence is either some choppy sideways price action or potentially even a little bit of bullish momentum in the short term. And I think that aligns very well with the Bitcoin RSI on the 4-hour time frame, at least, already being in oversold territory, because typically when the RSI is in oversold territory, it usually needs to reset a little bit back to around that 50 level, after which it can then make its next move either to the upside or to the downside. So that is just something noteworthy as well. But of course, that doesn't have to happen right away. The RSI can go much lower here. And of course, if it makes a lower low in the RSI, then this bullish divergence is not going to get confirmed. But for now, the trend is down, and it will just remain down until we get that potential bullish divergence confirmed. Now, before I continue with the Bitcoin analysis for today, I wanted to ask you guys to please subscribe to my channel. I'm currently at 2.9K. And I would love to get to 3,000 subscribers. So if you aren't subscribed yet, please make sure to subscribe with notifications on so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Now moving on to the Bitcoin liquidation heat map for today. First of all, on this 1 week time frame. And right here, you can see that again, we swept a lot of liquidity to the downside, leaving a lot of liquidity to the upside left here at roughly 64,000 US dollars. So in the case that the Bitcoin price reaches that level, then about $750 million worth of shorts will get liquidated. And in the case that you don't know, typically the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there is the most liquidity on this chart. So for example, a couple of days ago, the liquidity was down here and then the Bitcoin price got attracted to that. So that is why it is important to pay attention to those Bitcoin liquidation heat maps. Although zooming out to this 1 month time frame, it becomes pretty clear that most of the liquidity is to the upside. So there are a massive amount of people and a massive amount of liquidity that is currently shorting the Bitcoin price. So the big levels of liquidity are at about 65K, 67K, 70K, and then most of the liquidity is at about 72.3K. So I do think that so long as we are trading inside this descending channel that I was talking about earlier, then it is completely possible that we are going to sweep this liquidity to the upside at some point, considering that we are still in a bull market. Now, my opinion on if we are in a bull market might change if we get confirmed candle closes below this descending channel. But for now, that is simply not the case. It hasn't happened yet. So therefore, we'll just wait and assume that we are still in a bull market for now. And I know that these last couple of weeks, potentially even months, have been pretty harsh for people that are just holding crypto. So for me personally, to still profit from this market, even while we are chopping around sideways and getting some bearish momentum, I like leverage trading on the lower time frames. For example, earlier today, I made about $1,500 in like an hour or two by leverage trading on MEXC, which is one of the exchanges that I am affiliated with. And the reason I trade on MEXC is because you can get some of the lowest fees in the crypto space with 0.01% on leverage and spot trading. And besides that, you can also get up to $1,000 in trading and depositing bonuses simply for depositing on MEXC and trading on there. Now, if you cannot register on MEXC or you cannot KYC on MEXC, then I recommend you check out BloFin, because on BloFin, all you need is an email address to start leverage trading. And you can also get up to $500 in trading and depositing bonuses once again. Now, I'm not saying that if you start leverage trading on these platforms, then suddenly you're going to make money or something. Of course, you need to know what you're doing. But at the same time, it is nice to at least have some lower fees when you're trading, because long-term that saves you a lot of money. So if you want to get access to these bonuses, as well as these lower fees on MEXC, or simply trading with high leverage with no KYC on BloFin, then make sure to check out the links in the video description, because if you register through these links, then you will get all these benefits. Moving on to the Bitcoin ETF flow tables for today. And yesterday we saw another $20 million outflow, which is surprisingly low, to be fair, for the amount of bearish momentum that we saw yesterday. This is a relatively small outflow, although, like I said yesterday, this is definitely a potential warning signal, because we had a little bit of net inflows and some bullish momentum last week. However, this week, the Bitcoin ETF investors are flipping a little bit more bearish once again. And if we continue to see these massive outflows from the Bitcoin ETFs, then likely this is also going to pressure the Bitcoin price to go much lower here, potentially even break this descending channel or even this blue dotted trend line right here. So that is definitely something to watch out for. And therefore, I will continue to keep tracking these Bitcoin ETF in and outflows every single weekday. This has been today's market update. Thank you very much for watching once again. Don't forget to go check out those links to MEXC and BloFin in the video description. And I will see you again tomorrow in the next one.